you've got a lot going on guitar-wise. You've got solos, you've got riffs, and then, of course, there's just sheer speed. And also vocally, there's more interesting things going on. I mean, I'm a huge fan of death metal and stuff, but I feel like in thrash metal, you have a little more wiggle room to experiment with your vocals and do different things, and you're not boxed into just grunting. And
there's guys who have like a lot of different range, like across like the thrash spectrum for sure. You know, like guys who will do like straight up falsetto style like singing, and then you've got guys who will do more like burly type of stuff for sure. Yeah, I think it's like the like most condensed, like the perfect mix of all aggressive forms of music, in my opinion, because there's no like extra bullshit attached to it, but there's still like technicality to it, but it still is like primitive enough that it's like very aggressive and primal sort of catchiness mixed with like technical ability, but also still very heavy and aggressive and like emotional. You know, it's cool. And you can really talk about anything, you know, like just like compare our bands and like the subject matter, you know. I think like just between the two of us there's like a whole lot going on, and then you've got all these other bands in the mix and stuff, you know. You can talk about anything with the music, and I think that's really cool. And you can do anything vocally, like you were saying. Well, it's funny because there's like bands like Edge of Sanity and stuff who try to like do some weirder shit with like death metal, and a lot of people hated it, you know, like they did not fuck with it, or like the later Entomb stuff kind of. But I like that stuff. I like guys who take a chance, at least, you know. I may not appreciate it, but I respect them for not trying to fucking copycat someone else.
of course, if you were going to choose the big four of thrash metal, I think they've already been chosen for us, you know. Didn't they have a tour called the Big Four or something, you know?
Yeah.
So it'd be like Slayer,
Can't really
Anthrax,
argue it.
you know, and Metallica. But for me, you know, I would definitely put Violence on the list, Exodus, who are extremely nice guys. When we toured with Exodus, they were like some of the nicest dudes ever. And let's see, The Accused have got to be on there.
I love Sodom a lot. That's one of my favorites by far. I guess they're more on like the punk edge of thrash, but if Sacrilege counts, I fucking love that band so much. So, but Exodus and Violence were always huge. A lot of that Bay Area stuff I was really, really into when I first started breaking into thrash. Like, I listened to Split Image by Excel, like, I don't know, maybe a week straight. That was all I listened to the first time I heard that record. Just was really cool to me. I liked it. I liked how moshy it was. And it was something that sounded like D.R.I, and at the time I couldn't get enough stuff that sounded like D.R.I, so...
There's a couple bands that are a little bit more on the hardcore side of the fence, too, that I love a lot, like Cro-Mags, of course, and Leeway.
So good.
And, you know...
I love Leeway.
Yeah. And, you know, and newer bands.
Dude, I can't forget Nuclear Assault either. I always fucking forget them. And they're like one of my favorite bands, too. I guess it's because I've never seen them, but they were really good. That was an example of a band that, like, had really wild vocals. And I really respected that, even though it took me a while to get into them. But yeah, Phil's nailing what's on my plate basically too. I mean, like I like Creator and Destruction. Like I really like the sort of speed German style stuff. Razor too, Toronto's finest. In my personal one, I would certainly knock out Megadeth for Exodus. You know, if you're talking about the general big four. Although I don't know, Anthrax could maybe go too.
I like Anthrax a lot better than Megadeth.
I do too, but I feel like there's like thrash bands that I like a little bit more than those two bands for sure. I think I would probably swap. I would keep Metallica and Slayer around for sure, and then I would probably drop in Sodom and Exodus. Would probably be my like top four. I think. Yeah, I don't have like a ton of vocally musical influences that came from like straight up thrash, but I would say Paul Baloff was definitely one of them for sure.
Gary Holt's a standout in Exodus too, the guitar player.
Yeah, for real.
You know,
watching him perform is so sick.
Oh yeah, he's the king of the dive bomb where he holds the guitar by the whammy bar above his head. That's cool. His signature move. And every time he does that, I'm just like, oh my god, that's sweet. And
Blake tries to do that sometimes.
It's
He'll try to get it up there. Can't get it as high as Gary though.
There's a cool YouTube video of Gary Holt like giving guitar lessons. It's called like Shred to Death or something, and it's like really old. Gary Holt looks really young, but he takes you through every single soloing move that he does, And so if you're trying to learn sweet-ass guitar shred, thrash style, you got to check it out.
Hi, this is Gary Holt, guitarist for Exodus, and welcome. In this DVD, I'll show you some of my favorite licks, some advanced variations on them that I've built a 20-plus year career on.